Hey everybody, it's Jason here from the Mac and Tech community. As you can see here, I have a view shot of my mixer, and I'm actually going to talk about how it works and how I have it set up and the things it does. Now this here is a PV10, as you can see up here. It's a great mixer. It's approximately $300 Canadian, because I am Canadian and I deal with Canadian prices. Now I'm going to show you how I have everything set up here. And first of all, my mixer is set up in stereo mode. Okay, there's no sense getting a mixer if you're not going to run stereo. When I had my old pyramid mixer, it was stereo as well. As you can see, I have my outputs here that actually go out to splitters, left and right channels. So one goes to my one computer and one goes to the stream computer, as well as my input channels directly for sounds on my computer. Now I'm going to tell you, if you run stereo, your audience, if you have a live stream or whoever's watching your video, is going to have more of a better experience on your live stream. So if I pan to the left channel, you can hear me out of the left, and I pan to the right, you can hear me out of the right. And it's great when you're playing music and mixing audio in with your podcast or on your stream. Using stereo, I'm going to definitely recommend. If you use mono, I know myself, if I go to someone's stream and they're using mono, I'm not going to be as I'm not going to like it as good as it would be in stereo, because stereo is definitely the way to go. And there's lots of people out there that use mixers, but they're actually mono. They have only their left channel or their mono channel output. They're not actually using stereo mode. So if you're going to get a mixer, first thing that I'm saying here, make sure that you spend some extra time to get stereo mode set up, so your audience can have the same experience as you're having in your videos or your live stream. So yeah, right here I have basically everything is pretty much RCA outputs. Like I said, I have my splitter here. This here is my condenser microphone. Right here I've got a mute button all the way across. Right here, and if I will zoom in so you guys can have a better look. And let me just fix it. I always use manual focus on my camera. This right here is the monitor section, and I've got actually a monitor master. These are actually separate than the slides here. These slides here are controlled, and then my master output. Now these the monitor slides right here, or the knobs, are actually separate controls, and I use these when I talk on Skype or in Ventrilo. That way, when people talk to me on Skype back, and I'm using the monitor features, I have their channel down. That way they can't hear themselves loop back. And then these sliders down here are to the master level. And it's great if I want to do a private conversation, because all I do is I turn my slider down like I just did, and then I keep this up, and I can talk to people in Ventrilo. Now if I pressed mute, it would mute the entire channel from the monitor and the master here for that channel. Now I can also do effects. Right here's a bottom effect, and if I turn that up, then I could probably sing a lot better than I could without having the effects. Now this is a great mixer. People should have mixers to begin with when they're running a live stream. This is basically what it looks like. I've got some built-in effects for the effects, as well as the second effects channel can be used as a post output. Now over on to the left here, I'll show you, it says pre. I don't know if you can see it. Let me zoom in just a bit more. This right here says pre and post. Pre means this is dependent on its own. Post means it's dependent on the actual slider control at the bottom. So if I have this up and I'm adjusting the volume with my slider below on that channel, it's going to go with the slider. So it's dependent on the slider for that channel, where pre is dependent on its own. So whether I have the slider up or down, it's not going to affect this. Like I said, it's great for monitor outputs or going to event. I have my EQs up here. Right here, this gives me, it slightly changes it to give, if you have a muddy type sound, or anything. It actually gives it like a little more bass end, but since it's a condenser mic, I actually find that it sounds better when I have it off. I got the highs up, the mids are a little down, and because my voice can get a little bassy, I have the lows down. But if I bring my highs up right here, I can make your subwoofer go off. Anyways, so that's that. My second channel is also for another condenser mic, and I use the third one the third one for a dynamic mic. What I'm talking to you from right now is actually my condenser mic, which is the MXL 990 for those who want to know. Right here, this is a channel for my camera. So if I bring this up, you'll be able to hear me out of my camera that's up here, that's pointing down. As you can see, it actually picks up more noise and static than a condenser mic, but I use it once in a while when I want to. And right here, I've actually got it hooked up to RCA. I've just basically got an adapter. These are line inputs and then your inserts, and I just go all RCA. This has got actual separate left and right 1/4 inch jacks as well as RCA. It's great. Again, everything here runs in to, like, I've got my master out for XLR, then I've got left and right out with 1/4 inches, and I have a control room back here, left and right for the control room, which is with the headphones. So if you have a control room, if you're doing recording and stuff. As well as down here, we have phantom power, which is used for the condenser mic. You got the tape to control, which is basically, if I press that, it cuts out the master out for my headphones so I can cue something up, and then tape to mix, which will mix it in with the master. There's no volume control for this, but I use a computer to control this. This is kind of its own separate thing. But when I have the music going, I have it on this channel, and then I sometimes switch between this and this, swap them sometimes, and mix it in, because then I actually have EQ control. But as you can see up here, you'll notice that every one of the channels except for these two have EQ adjustments, and these don't. These are all flatlined. The reason for that is because the audio coming from the computer or the sound or the music is already at its own EQ from the compressors of the software or the actual song itself. So it does not make any sense to EQ what you're actually going to send out live. Because if something's already EQ'd, coming into here then EQ'd again, it might sound good to you, but it's going to go back out into a live stream, and it's basically going to go under double EQ, which actually could technically make it sound not as good. So just remember this, that when you have audio coming from your computer, songs and stuff, whatever you're playing, leave your EQs at 0, because the songs and the music's already like that, because you want it flat going out to your live stream or in your videos, so when whoever watches your videos, basically, it's up to whatever their audio and equipment is set to. But over here, it's you'll want to have your EQs for your mic, because your microphone's all different, and you want to make your microphone sound as crisp and clear, not too bassy and stuff on your end, so that way it's sent out and it's going to sound just like it would as if your songs are playing over here at 0. So if I were to 0 these, it really sounds muffled and stuff. But if I bring this down and this up, it's going to be good. So yeah, right here, keep these at 0 from your computer when you're playing music, and make sure to use stereo mode so your audience has just as good as an experience as you are. Spend the extra buck. You've already got a mixer that you've bought that, if it's stereo, make sure you get stereo outputs, because your stream and your videos that you put on YouTube can be in stereo mode, and that's what you want to have the best experience. Have any questions? Email us at questions@macandtech.net. Check out our live stream at live.macandtech.net, and if you like our videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/macandtech, and we'll chat at you later.